Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Wynn in Magical Diary Wolf Hall. I am mostly fully rested. I did have to go out to work and come back, and now it is, well, it's still very early in the morning for me, but that is usual for me now. Let's see, a quick reminder of where we were last time. I named the save Swole Ball. Interesting. Let's take a quick look at my diary. Oh, we just had Thanksgiving, huh? And money. Luke tried to borrow money from Donald and was frustrated there was no way for him to earn while studying at Iris Academy. Cool. And we had some basketball as well. William dropped by a sports club meeting, and we basically got destroyed by William in basketball. Did I say baseball? I can't remember. I think I said baseball the first time. I don't know why. Anyway, first thing Monday morning, someone knocks on my door. It's Minnie. Hi, can you do a seal spell? Oh, what? I don't have enough black magic. You need over 25 for that? Man, you need to specialize in black magic. Never mind, I'll ask someone else. While I blink in confusion, she knocks on Donald and Luke's door and repeats the question. Sure, probably. Great, please stick this flyer to the wall. She hands him a sheet of paper. Okay, bye. She hurries away. What was that? Student council business, I guess. But what's on the paper? We look at it together. It's an announcement of a special assembly for freshmen on Thursday. All normal classes will be suspended that day. How come we all have to go? Is it another ritual? I don't know any more than you do. He shifts his shoulders, helpless, then starts attempting to attach the paper to the wall. What should I do this week? So we don't have anything on Thursday. I wonder what this is? We've had Thanksgiving. I honestly can't remember what this event here is. But taking a look, I believe we still have our charm, our green magic charm on. We do. We have 14 stress. I think I'm just going to risk it with some black magic. And then I'm going to get some sleep afterwards. So, good thing we succeeded there. We succeeded in this one and we gained 1 extra. I turn around, surprised to see Ellen. I don't think she's ever sought me out before. You're not going home for Thanksgiving, are you? No. Because it's too far, right? You don't live near here. It's too far to go home for half a week. Yeah, that's right. It's too much trouble. I didn't even know that there was a Thanksgiving break until this weekend. Trying to arrange a trip now doesn't seem worth the effort. And you're not mad because it makes perfect sense, right? Right? Told you so. She walks away. Told me what? I think she was saying that to Ellen. To Virginia in her mind. Black magic success. We do gain another black magic. And that is the seal spell that Minnie asked of us. Oops. Anyway. On Thursday morning, all the freshmen are gathered together in the gym. Good morning, my bright young things. Today, we're going to have a very special lesson which should be fun for all of you. You're going to practice what you've learned and try out some spells on each other without the pressure of a test. In future exams, you may come across other spellcasters who attempt to block your progress. You need to know how to use magic in combat and how to avoid magic being used on you. So I realized, looking at the latest episode that was just uploaded to my YouTube channel as of the time of recording, which was episode 19, I believe. A True Prince, I titled it. We fought against the Loveland Frog. And I realized by watching that the Loveland Frog was holding a wand. So I think that could very well be a potential duelist. Spellcasting duelist that can impede your progress in dungeons. You need to know how to use magic in combat, and how to avoid magic being used on you. Now, you have all been studying different areas of magic, so some of you will have chosen to specialize and will have higher access to level spells. Others have been pursuing all disciplines equally, and have a broad range of knowledge, but many lack dual-specific skills. And that's why I want you to all team up in groups. You and your partner can share your different strengths. Will everyone please pair up in twos? The crowd springs into motion, each going our own way. I hesitate, unsure who to choose. I expected people to pick their roommates, but I see that Luke and Logan have immediately paired up, while Donald snags Ellen and Virginia goes for a butterfly whose name I can't remember. I wander around and looking for someone who isn't attached yet and end up standing by Barbara Solmoro. Please pay attention before we begin. When you're ready, you and your partner will face off against another pair. The two teams will take turns casting spells and blocking them. This is not a battle, and you're not trying to defeat or injure each other. Think of it like a game of catch. One team pitches and the other team catches. The pitcher will cast two minor aggressive spells, one after the other, whilst the catchers try to stop them. Without attacking them, you'll get your turn to be the aggressors. In each round, only one member of each team should cast a spell while the other observes the effects. Also, try to avoid interfering with any other pairs. That includes casting spells that tend to be large and messy. No fireballs and ice storms, please. Target only the active caster for the opposing team. Professor Van Brun and I will be on hand to deal with any injuries and accidents. The tall woman waves at the crowd from her position near the stage. Break a leg. Not literally. If you are injured, please call for help and one of us will be right there. Now, take a moment to discuss strategy with your partners, and then we'll begin the rotations. Have fun! This sounds likely to get pretty chaotic. I turn to face my partner. So... She points at me, then flicks her fingernail audibly across her thumb, then spreads her hands, raising her eyebrows. I think she's asking if I can cast something. I don't understand. That's not helpful. Trying to figure it out. I'm not sure exactly what spell she had in mind, but I think we better go over what spells we each know. She nods slightly but doesn't say anything else. Well, I'll start then. I give her a quick rundown of the spells I know how to cast, even the ones that don't seem relevant to a duel. Then I wait. Push, slow, blind. At least she said something. So those are the spells she knows, not the spells that she... every time I went through this, I thought that those were the spells that she wanted me to cast, but no, that's what she can cast. Alright, when it's our turn to defend... I'll cast Seal? Hold on, give me a description for Seal quickly. Fixes objects in place or fuses them shut. Repairs 2 to 6 damage. I can stagger. Ooh, stagger. What? So are we defending or are we attacking? When it's our turn to defend, I'll cast stagger. She nods, but looks dubious. Professor Potsdam walks around the room, checking to see who's ready to continue and directing pairs to their first opponents. I wonder if there is anything here that makes her look no longer dubious. But I'll cast stagger. I think that looks to be the best option here. Professor Potsdam walks around the room, checking to see who's ready to continue and directing pairs to their first opponents. Barbara and I are set to challenge Luke and Logan. Casters, take your mark! I step into position in front of Barbara as Luke comes forward to face me. Pitchers, when you hear the chime, cast your first spell and let the catcher try to block it. Hold your second spell until the second chime sounds. Spells ready? I focus my attention on Luke and the chime sounds. My spell completes just as Luke is trying to finish his. He sways in place, putting a hand to his head, and his spell fizzles uselessly. When the second chime sounds, I stagger him again, keeping him off balance. Neither of his spells touch me. At last it's my team's turn to go on the attack. Barbara takes up position opposite Logan. She gets quite a wicked grin when she manages to zap him in the ribs. Wow, I think this is the first time we've won this. After we finish our set against the twins, we rotate to a new set of opponents and try to figure out some different spells and techniques. We're having a fairly good time until... All of a sudden, a shadow sweeps over the gym. Darkness gathers in the rafters, forming a monstrous shape. Eyes of an unearthly azure, hanging tendrils that writhe and reach, and a maw lined with needles. For a moment I am frozen in place, my mind frantically rifling through years of magical lore, in quest of a category for this apparition, some clue for how to placate it. Barbara has no such hesitation. As the rest of us blink and stare and scream at the beast above, she instantly snaps off a bolt of red magic, which streaks directly towards its grotesque head, and passes harmlessly through, scorching the ceiling tiles beyond. The monster, the illusion, ripples and folds in upon itself, disappearing. With a whole room filled with novice spellcasters, it might be difficult to determine who was responsible, except that Donald cracks up laughing. Donald? Yes, ma'am. While your Tetranarch was very impressive, I do believe you were told to cast spells only at your opponent. Technically, I didn't cast it at anybody. Openly flouting the rules sets a bad example for the other students, don't you think? As for you, Barbara, violent reflexes are not a virtue. I am certain you meant well, but in the end your spell caused more damage than Donald's. I also just realised, if this actually was a Tetranarch, I don't know how effective her spell would have been. It could have possibly just angered it temporarily and made it go on the offensive if it wasn't an illusion. I suppose someone will have to clean the scorch marks off the ceiling, but that must be a fairly common occurrence in a magical school. I'm going to defend Barbara. If we really had been under attack, Barbara would have been the only one prepared to defend us. The rest of us weren't sure what to do, so we did nothing. She acted. It was brave. But there was no real danger, was there? Examining the situation carefully before acting was the correct thing to do. But what if it hadn't been? She turned her attention back to Barbara. You meant well, and there is no punishment, but do try to consider the consequences of your actions in the future. Perhaps you should have been in Horsehole after all. As for you, Donald, I'm sure you know there'll be detention for this. Of course. Try to be good now. Jacob, put Mr. Arias down. Manuel? I look over to see Jacob holding the smaller boy over his head. His arms stretched straight up. Manuel's face is turning red. At Potsdam's admonishment, Jacob switches his grip and lowers the toad to the ground. See? Moving someone around distracts him from casting spells. That is true. However, you're meant to be using magic. This is dueling practice, not a wrestling lesson. Professor Van Brun doesn't teach wrestling. Besides, I was using magic. I boosted my strength. I suppose that counts for something. Are you alright, Puplet? Yes, ma'am. Jacob, please don't grab other students without their permission. Yes, ma'am. After all, if you tackled a beast with bigger claws, you might come to regret it. She sweeps away. You okay? I want another shot. They look like they're still dueling. Luckily, there are no major accidents for the rest of their session. For the rest of the session, not their session. I'm sure their session as well, but regardless, don't get too pedantic now, Charles. This morning there is mail for me. Not a letter in an envelope, but a folded over sheet of paper with a silver star sticker attached for attention. It's from the class president, announcing that the next exam will take place on Wednesday the 20th, and inviting us all to study with her in the library this weekend. She also mentions that the full play Medea will take place on the 22nd, and that tickets are $5 each for students. Well, what should I do today? We're going to go study. Minnie Cochran is assisting people. We're going to study alone. Or should we... Might as well study with Minnie, right? I see Donald walk in and head for the back of the library. Didn't he say something about extra credit projects? He pulls a piece of paper off the wall, grins, folds it up, and shoves it into his pocket. I catch up, and I stand up and catch Donald before he can leave. I do feel my nose clogging up a little bit here, so give me a second, and I will be right back. Alright, please excuse that pause. That's probably gonna solve the problem for about another 10 seconds. Yeah, even just speaking now is making it come back again. You might be able to hear how nasally I'm getting. 1 second again. Alright, what have you got? Project with Potsdam for merit. She's asking for people to make candles next week. You interested? Sure. I'm happy to help. You can come with me and Luke then. I'll let you know when we're ready. He nods at me and leaves the library. For today's club meeting, Balthazar has called us not to the forest, but to the cafeteria. One table has been covered over with newspaper and topped with an assortment of different mushrooms, some round, some long, and some skinny, and some twisted into eldritch shapes. Another table holds various equipment, mirrors, magnifying glasses, a round display of wool dyed different colours, and papers marked with radiating patterns. Today we will be discussing how to categorize mushrooms, looking at different caps, stems, gills, and spores. Now, because these are some I prepared earlier, we are missing a trick for identification. You have to look at where it's growing. If it's on the ground, is there just one, or a row, or a ring? Is it growing on dead wood, or dung, or a tree? There are thousands of species of mushroom, but we only have time for the first 70. This could be a long day. We split up into groups and discussed the different mushroom specimens, comparing them to the pictures shown in the books. Suki draws pictures of the different mushrooms we identify, though she adds strange details like wings or eyes to some of the sketches. When we're done, the kitchen cooks up a few of the mushrooms we've hopefully identified as safe and allows us to taste them. They're delicious and no one dies of poisoning, so a good job all around. At the end of the week, I have the chance to review everything. Okay, I believe we don't have anything else? No, okay, we're fine. Done. On Monday morning, I'm getting ready for class. I spot a piece of paper lying on the floor of my room. Another announcement? I pick it up and it reads, William enjoys the theatre, Cupid. Who sent this? It doesn't seem like William's style to make a suggestion like this, especially not as Cupid. Is that someone's little joke? Do I want to go to the school play with William? I invite someone else. Who would enjoy seeing a show with me? Obviously Ellen, of course. I make my way over to Horse Hall. Charles? Hi, are you going to the play on Friday? I'm looking for someone to sit with. I don't know. You don't know if you want to go? I don't know. I have to get ready for class. She steps back into her room and closes the door. I think she doesn't know if she wants to go with me. Well, I can always go by myself. What classes should I take this week? The next exam's on Wednesday. Man, that confession did hurt her. Oh well. I did the best I could do. It's alright though. We're gonna focus on green magic. We want to get up to level 50. Green magic success. Green magic success. There he is. Here I am. Right. Are you ready? If you don't remember, you don't have to come. Yeah, more for us. He's not going to explain. Is this some kind of trick? Go with him. Alright, you lead the way. I follow Donald and Luke to a classroom that's normally used for black magic. There are stoves and pots set up in the back for potion making experiments. There you are. Yes, ma'am. Now, if you'll hold still for a moment. A veil of green magic settles over us. That should improve your resistance to heat and stop you from burning yourself too easily. Of course, you still need to be careful. Especially you, Mr. Piper. Yes, ma'am. You have an instruction sheet here with all the steps, including the proportions for the dyes and fragrance oils. Do you have any questions? We're cool. Alright. I'm going out for a while, but I'll be back shortly to keep an eye on things. Don't worry, I won't interfere. I might even bring my knitting. She leaves the room, and I look more closely at the collection of supplies in the back of the room. Oh, that's right. Donald saw the notice in the library asking for people to help make candles. How does this work? Set up the wick, melt the wax, pour it in, then cool it down. Easy. You can cast a seal spell, right? Sure. Finally, this time I can cast a seal spell. Right, you get the wicks. I'll run the boiler. Don't burn yourself. I won't. He goes off to deal with the melting wax. Okay, here's how your part works. Take a mold and set it up the wick in the middle. Here, I'll show you. He picks up a metal can. There's a little hole in the base, right? Cut a wick that's a few inches taller than the can and run it through. Then seal the wick into the hole so the wax doesn't leak. Put a pencil on top of the can and tie the other end of the wick to hold it straight in the center. You've done this before? I read the directions. Prep the mold and line them up on the desks. We work together to assemble the candles. Luke and I create and fill the molds, then Donald casts a series of spells to cool and compress the wax. It isn't difficult, but it does become tiring as we repeat the steps over and over. Despite Potsdam's precautions, there are no accidents. Luke seems fairly comfortable working around the hot stove. Do you do things like this at home? Huh? No. I can cook a little though. Me and Logan do it together. Most recipes are meant for 2 people to eat. 2? Your parents don't eat with you? Sometimes, but they have to work, so sometimes it's just us. So we cook for ourselves. What do you like to cook the most? I don't know. Careful, don't confuse them now, someone will get burned. Yeah. Do you cook, Charles? No. I've never really learned either, but my dad's great in the kitchen. Home cooking is very different for them than it is for me. At home, our meals were always served to us. But if I talk about that, I would sound spoiled or stuck up, as they say on television. And so I keep quiet as we finish our batch of candles. Wonderful work, duckling. 10 merits for each of you. Oh, we're finally in the positives. A job well done. Alright. Green magic class success. I report on schedule for my exam. Am I ready? I am ready. Alright then, here we go. So, after today, we have the play for Medea. I do wonder if Ellen will be joining us, or if I ruined our chances with her with that confession. The exit from this dungeon has been hidden. Choose your path carefully. Be cautious. All is not as it seems. Alright. I am going to mute myself for a second while I'm exploring this dungeon so that I can try to alleviate my nose here. Alright, well that's a bit of a bummer right there. Right, well, how do I, get past this? Oh my goodness. Diagnosis, track 10, heal, boosted strength, sicken, slow, blind, stagger. I wonder. You know, in the very first exam we get, if we get seal, perhaps we can climb those vines. But anyway, I think we're screwed. Heal, boost strength, sicken, slow, blind, stagger. We also, I'm going to move my keyboard here so you'll hear it for a second. There we go. I'll examine the wall. Ordinary. Ordinary. And ordinary. What about these ones on the side here? Ordinary. Oops. Ordinary. I am going to go examine all of these walls just in case. Oh, we have inspect. It costs 1 mana. Sends only solid rock beyond. Oops, not inscribe. I want inspect. Okay. Not very thick. Open on the other side. So we could try to break through this one. Or maybe we can't. Track scent, heal. Light, breeze, blind, stagger. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can cast light ahead. Doesn't quite work. But I can try to get... If only I could get through here. I don't know if I can get through here. Open. On the wall. Nothing happens. Inspect the wall. Only rock. Okay, this is interesting. Oh boy. Sicken. Only affects the living. Slow. Blind. Stagger. Detect charm. Trigger. Inscription, inspection. So we know that this wall here is weak. I can't do anything. Oh my goodness. How do I get past this? I can't do long jump. What do I need for long jump? I need evocation. I need red magic for that. But I don't have that. Breeze is blowing north. Of course it is. What about over here? Blowing north. Okay. Over here? Blowing west. Cool. Okay. Whatever. I think I'm boned. Have we inspected this wall? Yeah, only rock. Inspect the abyss. Not an object. Cool. Boost strength. Can we try to jump over the abyss? No. I can't do anything. Really. Slow's not going to help me. Diagnosis, track scent, heal. No, none of those are going to help me. Inspection, inscription, trigger, detect charm, open, seal, spirit sense. We can try spirit sense. No spirits nearby. Magical. Okay, yep, that was my my boosted strength. I can't do anything. Excuse me. This is rude. This is rude from Final Fantasy VII, my friend. What the heck is going on here? And do I just have to give up? Is that the case? Really? Ho ho ho, I am upset. I cannot do anything. Oh my goodness. Wow. Great. Fine. Give up. Oh my goodness. I quit. I give up. A wave of dizziness crashes over me. And find myself back in the school. Disappointing. Yeah. He closes the book. Consider where you went wrong and find your mistakes and rectify them. Family or no family, continued failures will see you expelled from this academy. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir. For your performance or lack thereof, you have earned 10 demerits. I expect better from you in the future. Yes, sir. Ugh, that could have gone a lot better. Yeah, I didn't have a way to win. I don't think so. I'm on my way back to my room when I hear a commotion in the halls, stomping and shouting. Professor Grabiner, sir! Is Ellen yelling at Grabiner? I'd better go see what's going on. I ease forward, joining a growing cluster of students who are staring at the confrontation. Your testing procedure is unbalanced and unfair. Take it up with the headmistress. I have no time for this. No, you listen to me. This is important. Would you be willing to accept detention in exchange for my listening to your little diatribe? Yes. I see. Carry on. You tell us that we're supposed to be creative, but you discourage creative solutions. You tell us that we're supposed to think our way out of challenges, but you don't teach us to think. All we've learned since we've been here is spells. No history, no literature, no social guidance. You don't tell us what is and isn't accepted behaviour, and then you punish us anyway. You tell us to experiment, but then you didn't tell us how to do it safely, and you don't give us tools to measure our progress. And you made fun of science for doing what you can't. It's wrong. Have you quite finished? Yes. Very well. I'll see you on Sunday for your detention, Miss Milton. He pivots neatly in place, his cape sweeping out behind and making onlookers flinch, and walks away. Ah! I don't know exactly what set Ellen off, but I think it's best to wait for her to calm down before I ask. Oh, but failed. After class is let out on Thursday, I track down Ellen in the school library. Charles? Hi, I want to know what she's arguing about with Grabiner, but how should I bring it up? Ask if she's alright. What happens if we ask her why she was angry? I heard you were pretty upset with Professor Grabiner lately. What did he do? Okay. Hint about yesterday. I heard there was some sort of accident after the exams yesterday. Okay. Which one do I want to go for? Well, I know I've gone for this one every single time, and I still think it's the correct one. But let's ask why she was angry. I heard you were pretty upset with Professor Grabiner yesterday. What did he do? He didn't. Well, he did, but... it was because of the exam. I didn't fail, but he said I didn't pass either. Because I found my way out of the dungeon, but I didn't use any magic to... How? How did you do that? They told us when we went in, things aren't what they seem, so I knew there would be a... What if we casted... Ooh. What if we casted blindness on ourselves? And we walked through the illusion? The illusory wall? Ooh. We have to try that. I am going to save here. Just as a reference point. Sure, Swole Ball still works. And then we're going to go and load. Oh man, the last one was the beginning of the episode. That was 34 minutes ago. We're just going to have to do this. Alright, done. Skip. And we'll just keep skipping. I believe I wanted to green magic everything. Alright, let's try this. That's right. Okay. Here we have the Tetranarch event. I'm going to cast Dagger, sure. Tetranarch. Defend Barbara, of course. We're going to try and keep to what we did today. So then we went to study alone, asked him about it. Sure, I'll help. This is the mushroom event. Invite someone else, invite Ellen. Alright. And then we'll learn some like that. Alright. So we got the seal spell, now we're making candles with Luke and Donald. I am ready. Okay, so we are back here in this exam. So we have this thing on the floor here. Examine the floor. The answer is simple, just text fades away. So we're going to try this. We're going to go cast blindness on ourselves. Why am I still blind? Hello? Excuse me? Unless healed. I should no longer be blinded. Hello? I nudge the wall. I can't examine anything. Is this a glitch? I feel like this is a glitch. Something behind you is enchanted. The floor in the center of the room is enchanted. It appears to be connected to the circle of runes. I am enchanted. I shake my head, eyes clearing. What if I do detect charm now? Okay. Hello? I feel like this is not working. Carelessness. You saved a tiny touch of mana, then lost 10 merit. Oh, we are going to certainly try that again. I feel like that was not meant to happen. So we will definitely do this replay thing again. I apologize for repeat stuff, and honestly I forgot what classes I took. I'm going to go green magic all the way. Last day is going to be that. Skip. Yep, that's right. Oh, hello. Oh, we got a green magic accidentally. We can carry on with this. Professor Potsdam is sitting at her desk with an absent smile on her face, her fingertips resting on the rim of an empty flower pot. Not completely empty. I can see there's soil inside, but there's no plant in the pot. Isn't nature lovely? No one knows what to say. Natural life is all around you, even when you don't see it. Sometimes a living creature is so large that you take it for granted as part of the scenery. Other times, life is so small that it passes beneath your notice. But that doesn't mean it isn't important. Watch. Before our eyes, green tendrils suddenly erupt from the soil, twining themselves around Professor Potsdam's fingers. She coos at them, and the green shoots untangle themselves and stretch upwards. When you are in the dungeon beneath the school, you may think that you are very far from nature. But life is all around you. Moss and algae on the stones, roots from above. With green magic, you can call on them to grow strong and large. You might even weave a green web over a wall to use as a ladder, or block a tunnel with roots to stop someone from following you. Now, if you were truly trapped somewhere that no plant could grow, then this spell would fail you. The magic does not create life, only summons it, strengthens it, and spins out a little extra when needed. Over time, the tangles you have built will slowly shrivel away, and the plant will return to its natural state. So don't worry too much if the vines you build take a bit of battering, but do thank them for their aid. Entangle. Cool, okay. So we can use this to help with vines. And if we ever get, 50 green magic? If we ever get 50 green magic... Oh, I'll cast Entangle, sure. My spell goes off. His leaves a black mark on my robe. Mine was meant to tangle him up in plants and make him helpless, but unfortunately it seemed that all the plant material in the dark dance has been cleaned out of the gym, so the spell does nothing at all. Cool. Alright, well, anyway. If we can somehow get 50 green magic before the first exam, we should be able to get that achievement, which is climb the vines and escape that way. Sure, I'll help. I wish I had saved at the start of the dungeon, so I do apologize that I'm repeating this. Invite Ellen, of course. Alright, cool. We've got 50 of those, 50 of green magic. We will do black magic all the way through this time. So we're going to skip. New spell, seal, go with them, get some merits. Alright, I am ready. And yes, we are going to save here. We're going to go menu, and we're going to go save game, go over to here, click here, and we're going to say swole ball. Alright, so, is this the wall? Inspect this wall, please. Not very thick, open on the other side. Ordinary stone wall. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. And hopefully it works. I'm going to blind myself. Everything goes black. Okay, I am still blinded. Alright, cool. That's a little bit of a glitch then, I assume. I'm going to load back to this game. So my idea was basically going to be using what Ellen told me. I will do Detect Charm. The floor here is enchanted. I'm going to try again. Something to the south is enchanted. The floor to the east is enchanted. Something to the south is enchanted. Also, I know that something is... ordinary stone wall. I'm going to inspect the stone wall. Okay, so we can get out of here. This is all I needed to know. Wow. Okay, examine the floor. Touch the runes. Nothing happened. I'm gonna stand in... Oh, whoops. I'm gonna stand in the circle. I'm gonna examine the floor and touch the runes. And nothing happened. Really? I'm gonna inspect the floor. Okay, a circle of runes has been carved into the floor and then inlaid with a coloured substance to make the pattern durable. Trigger, perhaps? You cast trigger. Cool. Okay, that worked. So this here must be another fake wall. Inspect the wall. Not very thick. Open on to the air on the other side. Okay, cool. So, I am so glad we can actually do this. That took far too much time. I'm going to examine the wall, forward wall. Hopscotch is inscribed upon it. Okay, cool. We do still have a lot of magic thanks to the wand that we got. So we're going to cast light ahead of ourselves. That's just going to take us to the, yeah. Alright. Light ahead. Right. So that spell actually seemed pretty good. Detect Charm. I'm going to place that on number 7. Okay. Cast it. No charmed objects here. Detect Charm? Nope. Detect Charm. No. What about up here? The wall to the east is enchanted. Inspect the wall. Forward wall. Wow. I do kind of want to, like, see what Entangle does. I examine the vines. Climb them. Climb back down. Okay, that's what it does. Cool. Climb the stairs, yes. Oh, okay. Congratulations, Charles. For succeeding in your quest, you receive 5 merits. I hope you enjoyed putting your skills into practice. Now if you'll excuse me. Well, that's done. Alright, cool. Now we get to go back to where we were. We're gonna ask her why she was angry. I heard you were pretty upset. How did you find your way out of the exam without using magic? They told us when we went in, things weren't what they seem, so I knew there would be illusions. But the walls felt all solid, so I realized they must be affecting the mind as well as the eye. So I thought, if I don't know the walls are there, they can't affect me. So I blindfolded myself and spun. And then I fell over. But that was okay because I needed to crawl to be sure that I didn't fall into any invisible pits. You crawled through the whole dungeon blind? Oh no, I had to take the blindfold off to use the teleportation circle. There weren't any instructions, so I had to test all the rune combinations in sequence. How is that even possible? So I found the exit, but I didn't cast any spells, so he said it didn't count and he wouldn't give me any merits. If they said I had to use a spell, I would have. That's not fair. It seemed obvious to me that exams were designed to be solved using magic. Spells and how to use them have been the focus of our education. Perhaps she sees things differently because she's a wild seed. What will you do now? Whatever they tell me to. Until I can think of something better. I can't believe Grabiner gave me detention for speaking my mind. I can't believe you agreed to it. Oh, I guess I did. It was still really mean. He's an awful man. He'll probably invent something humiliating to do to me. You're not so bad, really. How do you know? I'm a good judge of character. Right. I'll talk to you later. Wait! Charles, do you... Huh? Do you still need someone to sit with you at the play? Because I'm probably going and I'd like that. I think things are going to be alright. Aww. Aw, adorable. Alright, we got Black Magic level 30. Oh, little bowerbird, isn't it a lovely feeling to be creative? To shape beauty out of raw materials? With black magic, you can alter objects from one shape to another to suit your needs and wishes. There's no need to put up with clothes that are too long or tables that are too low. You can alter them to fit. Today we'll be practicing reshaping stone. Not because stone is the easiest substance to reshape, but because it's one of the most practical uses to you. I assume she means in the dungeon. There's a lot of stone down there. Now, you can't expect to be great artists right away. You can only create what you can visualize completely. So it's best to start with a very simple shape. There will be plenty of time to add spikes and hanging rings later. She walks around the room, giving each student a small handful of pebbles, and then has us practice moulding them together into a perfect sphere. Now, think about what simple shapes might be useful to aid you in your adventures. What have you used stone to create a new wall, or remove an old one? Shape stone, cool. In the evening I meet Ellen outside the auditorium. There are a lot of people here, not just students, but ordinary Americans who must have driven out here to see the play. As usual, they don't notice our capes and robes. The dim light may help, but I'm sure a bit of magic is at work as well. Amiably blind, they process past the table in front of the door, handing over their money to a witch as they go. I pay for my ticket and go inside. That is the last of my money. Folding chairs have been set up in rows across the floor, facing the stage. Beyond the curtains, a vast illusion creates the impression of distant lands, marble steps and crumbling ruins. With magic, of course, it would be possible to create a perfect image of Corinth as it now stands, hundreds of years after the Romans destroyed and rebuilt it. However, the ancient Greeks staged their plays as openly as possible, with only painted backdrop to set the scene. Too much detail would distract from the aesthetic. Besides, if the stage looked like a true portal back to a city whose temples I have actually visited, I think I might get homesick. The audience settles and quiets, and the show begins. Euripides' Medea is considered one of the classics of the ancient world. I'm familiar with the story. The hero, Jason, was married to Medea, a powerful witch who had betrayed her own people to join his quest and use her powers to aid him. However, once they return in triumph to Athens, Jason sets Medea aside to marry a wealthy princess. Furious, she plots the murder of his new bride and the king who planned to exile her. Give me 1 second, I will blow my nose again. Alright. Once they are dead, she then kills the children she had born to Jason so that he would see his line end. In the end, she flees to Athens, leaving Jason alone in the ruins of his life, where he eventually dies unmourned. According to my mother, the historical Medea did not stab her children, but took them into the other world and tore their souls from their flesh, reanimating their bodies with spirits to curse the father that abandoned them. Wow. That's, I would not want to be that father. Ooh. This performance keeps to the tradition of knives, and a surprising amount of blood. The unprepared audience shrieks along with the victims. We head back out into the hall. Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. Or as my mother would say, a wise man never breaks a promise to a witch. Was Medea a real witch? My history says she was, but it didn't all happen exactly like the play. So she didn't really kill her children? No, that part was true. Actually, it was worse. Her revenge was very thorough. She wanted to be sure there was no one left to carry out his funeral rites, so his soul would be lost forever. Ellen shakes her head. Even if a man treated me like that, even if I were betrayed, I can't understand murdering innocent people. You would approve if she killed Jason instead? No! No murder. But I would understand how she could feel that way. Have you ever wanted revenge against someone like that? No? I don't know. I saw her facing off with Grabner. I can imagine she has quite a temper when she's riled. Trying to get revenge only makes things worse. Maybe it feels good to lash out, but you'd feel bad about yourself later. And if someone hurts you, you hurt someone else for revenge? And if someone hurts you, so you hurt someone else for revenge, and then they want revenge for that, where does it stop? It's better to try to forget if you can't forgive. That's very sensible. Anyway, I should probably go. Thanks for coming with me. You're welcome. Alright. This episode has gone on for quite long enough. 53 minutes. Oh my, this is the longest episode I've recorded. I apologize for that, but I really wanted to get that exam done. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care.